A staggering 1 in 2 women and up to 1 in 4 men over the age of 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. For years, the official guidance has been to flood the body with calcium supplements. But what if that very advice, taken in isolation, is contributing to an even greater silent threat? Groundbreaking research from the British Medical Journal revealed that individuals taking calcium supplements without the correct cofactors had a significantly higher risk of heart attack. The calcium, unguided, was not finding its way into bone. It was hardening in their arteries. This is not a story about abandoning calcium. This is the story of how to command it. There exists a biological navigation system, a 3-part nutrient team that acts as a GPS, guiding every milligram of calcium out of your soft tissues and locking it directly into your bone matrix where it belongs. This is the strategic plan to rebuild bone, not by accident, but by design. The human skeleton is not a static, concrete structure. It is a living, dynamic organ, constantly remodeling itself. Think of it as a perpetual construction site within the body. 2 teams of specialized cells are at work, day and night. The demolition crew, called osteoclasts, break down old, brittle bone. The construction crew, called osteoblasts, build new, strong bone to replace it. In youth, the construction crew easily outpaces the demolition crew. The skeleton reaches its peak bone mass around the age of 30. After this point, particularly after the age of 50, the balance begins to shift. The demolition crew starts working overtime, and the construction crew struggles to keep up. This gradual loss of density, this hollowing out from the inside, is called osteopenia, and its more severe form, osteoporosis. It happens silently. There is no pain, no warning sign, until the fracture. This is the moment a simple fall, a sudden twist, or even a forceful cough becomes a catastrophic event. The conventional wisdom to combat this was simple. If you are losing bone, which is made of calcium, you must need more calcium. This logic is appealing. It is also dangerously incomplete. Pouring more calcium into the body without a delivery system is like shipping millions of bricks to a city with no roads and no construction workers. The bricks just pile up in the streets, causing traffic jams and creating chaos. This is precisely what happens with undirected calcium. It piles up in the bloodstream and soft tissues. It contributes to the calcification of arteries, the stiffening of blood vessels, that is a primary driver of cardiovascular disease. It can deposit in the kidneys, leading to kidney stones. It can even settle in the brain. The solution is not less calcium, it is smarter calcium. So what is the 3-part GPS system that takes control of this vital mineral? It consists of vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and magnesium. When these 3 nutrients are present in the correct balance, they work in perfect synergy to ensure calcium performs its proper function. They are the directors of the entire operation. This is not theory. It is biochemistry. Let's break down the role of each team member, starting with the gatekeeper, vitamin D3. In just a moment, we will reveal the specific form of vitamin K that a study in the Journal of Osteoporosis International found reduced spinal fractures by 60%. It is likely not the one you think it is. Most people associate vitamin D with sunlight, and for good reason. The body synthesizes it when skin is exposed to ultraviolet B rays. However, for those over 60, several factors conspire against this natural process. The skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D. People spend more time indoors, and those living in northern latitudes receive insufficient sun exposure for up to 6 months of the year. Relying on the sun alone is no longer a viable strategy. Vitamin D3's primary role in bone health is to open the gate for calcium absorption in the intestines. Without sufficient vitamin D3, most of the calcium consumed through diet or supplements simply passes through the body, unabsorbed. It is the key that unlocks the door, allowing calcium to enter the bloodstream in the first place. But this is where the popular understanding stops. Getting calcium into the blood is only step 1. Now that it's in the bloodstream, a superhighway of soft tissue, it needs a traffic controller to tell it where to go. This is the critical role of vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is the body's master traffic cop. It activates 2 crucial proteins, osteocalcin and matrix GLA protein. Think of them as tiny transport vehicles and protective shields. When activated by vitamin K2, osteocalcin acts like a biological taxi. It binds to the free-floating calcium in the bloodstream and physically carries it out of the blood and deposits it directly onto the bone matrix, where the osteoblast can use it to build new, strong bone. This is an undeniable truth. Without enough vitamin K2 to switch on osteocalcin, calcium simply drifts aimlessly in the blood. Simultaneously, vitamin K2 activates the matrix GLA protein. This protein acts as a guardian for your arteries and soft tissues. Its sole job is to sweep through your blood vessels and remove any misplaced calcium deposits, preventing the buildup of arterial plaque. It is the cleanup crew that ensures the highways remain clear and flexible. A deficiency in vitamin K2 means both systems fail. The taxis never get turned on to deliver calcium to the bones, and the guardians never get activated to protect the arteries. This is the double jeopardy that makes isolated calcium supplementation so risky. Now, for the crucial detail. There are multiple forms of vitamin K2, but the most researched and bioavailable form for bone health is called menaquinone-7, or MK7. Studies have shown its profound effects. The previously mentioned study from the Journal of Osteoporosis International, a 3-year, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, found that postmenopausal women taking a daily dose of MK7 saw a significant improvement in bone mineral density and a remarkable 60% reduction in vertebral fractures. The construction crew was not just keeping up, it was actively rebuilding. This powerful combination is only 2/3 of the solution. The third element, magnesium, is the master regulator that many people overlook. How can a common mineral be the switch that turns the entire system on or off? The answer may surprise you. The third member of this strategic team is magnesium. If vitamin D3 is the gatekeeper and vitamin K2 is the traffic cop, then magnesium is the power grid that runs the entire city. It is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, and its role in bone metabolism is absolutely non-negotiable. First, the body cannot convert vitamin D into its active form without sufficient magnesium. This is a critical metabolic step. You can supplement with all the vitamin D3 you want, but if you are deficient in magnesium, that vitamin D remains largely dormant and useless. The gatekeeper for calcium absorption never gets to his post. Second, magnesium is a crucial cofactor for the enzyme that activates osteocalcin, the very protein that vitamin K2 targets. Magnesium and vitamin K2 work together on this. A lack of magnesium means fewer of those calcium taxis get their engines started, even if K2 is present. Finally, magnesium itself is a physical component of the bone matrix. Approximately 60% of the body's magnesium is stored in the skeleton. It doesn't just help get calcium there. It provides structural integrity to the bone crystal lattice itself. It makes the bones less brittle. Decades of dietary trends emphasizing processed foods have left an estimated 50% of the American population deficient in this master mineral. This deficiency creates a bottleneck in the entire system, rendering even a well-formulated vitamin D and K regimen less effective. The synergistic power is undeniable. Vitamin D3 gets the calcium into the blood. Vitamin K2 directs that calcium into the bones and out of the arteries. And magnesium ensures the entire system is powered up, and that the final bone structure is strong and resilient. Taking one without the others is like trying to drive a car that is missing its engine, its steering wheel, or its fuel. It simply will not work as intended. This nutritional strategy is the foundation. It corrects the biochemical environment to favor bone building. But to truly command the osteoblasts, the body's construction crew, one must send them a direct order. The body needs a clear, unambiguous signal that stronger bones are not just a preference, but a necessity for survival. That signal is not sent through diet alone. It is sent through force. This is the principle of osteogenic loading. Bone is a living tissue that responds to its environment. When it is placed under a specific type of load, a heavy but brief mechanical stress triggers a powerful adaptive response. The osteoblasts are jolted into action. The message they receive is clear. We are not strong enough to handle this load. We must rebuild and become denser. This is not the same as general exercise. While activities like walking or swimming are excellent for cardiovascular health, they do not provide a sufficient stimulus to trigger significant new bone growth in those already experiencing bone loss. The load is too light, too gentle. The signal gets lost in the noise of daily activity. To speak the language of bone cells, the stimulus must be different. It must be a level of force that is multiples of one's own body weight. This sounds intimidating. It is not. Technology and specific techniques now allow for this stimulus to be applied safely, without high impact, and without risk of injury. It involves precise movements where optimal biomechanical positions allow for the application of brief but significant loads. For example, a controlled leg press, properly executed, can allow an individual to safely exert a force equivalent to 4, 5, or even 6 times their body weight. This level of stimulus is the direct order that osteoblasts have been waiting for. It is the most potent, non-pharmacological signal known to science for initiating the bone rebuilding process. One landmark study tracked individuals over a year and found that just 10 minutes of this specialized loading, once per week, resulted in an average bone density increase of over 7% in the hip and spine. The demolition crew was put on pause. The construction crew was given a new blueprint and an unlimited budget. The combination of this precise nutritional GPS and the targeted mechanical signal of osteogenic loading creates a powerful 1-2 punch against bone loss. It transforms the body from a state of passive degradation into a state of active rebuilding. It is a strategic intervention. It is a plan. The first step is to ensure the building blocks and their directors are in place. The second step is to give the order to build. But how does one structure this protocol? What are the precise dosages of vitamin D3, vitamin K2 in its MK7 form, and the correct form of magnesium? And what are the specific, safe exercises one can perform, even at home, to generate this crucial bone-building signal? The specifics are critically important, because getting them wrong doesn't just mean the protocol won't work. It means you could be inadvertently making things worse. What if I told you the single most popular supplement taken for bone health, the one mineral that has been the poster child for a strong skeleton for over 50 years, could be the very thing silently contributing to heart disease, kidney stones, and joint pain? I'm talking about calcium. How can this be possible? We have been told our entire lives that to build bone, we need more calcium. Drink your milk. Take your calcium chews. It's the foundational logic of bone health. But this logic is dangerously incomplete. It's like saying to build a brick house, you just need to dump 1,000 bricks on the property. It ignores the masons, the mortars, and the architectural plans. The body's architecture is far more sophisticated. When you flood your system with high doses of supplemental calcium, especially the cheap, rock-based forms like calcium carbonate, you are creating a crisis. Without enough of the traffic cop, vitamin K2, to direct these bricks to the construction site, they become vandals. They drift through the bloodstream, looking for a place to land. And where do they end up? They deposit in the soft tissues. This is the great and terrible calcium paradox. The very mineral you're taking to strengthen your bones ends up calcifying or hardening your arteries. It becomes arterial plaque. It precipitates in the kidneys to form painful stones. It settles in your joints, contributing to arthritis and stiffness. You are effectively taking a mineral meant for your skeleton and using it to turn your flexible tissues into stone. Think about that. The very strategy intended to prevent a fracture could be setting the stage for a heart attack. This isn't speculation. It's a documented risk. So the first critical detail is this: stop mindlessly supplementing with high-dose calcium. The goal is not to flood the system. The goal is to intelligently manage the calcium you already get from your diet. The focus must shift from more calcium to smarter calcium. The calcium found in food is bound to other nutrients. It's more bioavailable and released more slowly, preventing the dangerous surges caused by supplements. But this leads to the next critical question. If you're not using big doses of supplemental calcium, how do you ensure the D3, K2, and magnesium are working on enough raw material? And what are the exact forms of these supplements? Does it matter if your K2 is MK4 or MK7? Is magnesium oxide the same as magnesium glycinate? These aren't minor details for supplement enthusiasts. They are the difference between success and failure, between building bone and building plaque. The form determines how well your body can absorb and utilize the nutrient. Taking the wrong form is like giving your construction crew tools they don't know how to use. The work simply doesn't get done, and the expensive materials are left to rust in the rain. This precision is the secret key. But what if there's a saboteur, a hidden agent in your diet that you've been told is healthy? What if the very spinach in your salad contains a chemical bodyguard that prevents your body from ever accessing the minerals locked inside? This isn't about eating the wrong foods. It's about so-called, foods actively working against you. We're talking about anti-nutrients. These compounds, like oxalates and phytates, act like mineral magnets. They bind to the calcium, magnesium, and other vital nutrients in your food, escorting them right out of your body before you ever have a chance to use them. You are eating the right things, but your body isn't getting the memo. But here is the crucial insight. This is not a declaration of war on vegetables. It is a call for intelligence. Simply cooking, soaking, or fermenting these foods can neutralize a significant portion of these anti-nutrients, unlocking the very minerals they held hostage. This is the final layer of precision. It's not just what you eat, but how you prepare it. So let's pull back and look at the complete picture. We've dismantled the old, broken model of bone health. It is not about mindlessly bombarding your body with rock-based calcium. It is a sophisticated, biological conversation. It's about providing the right building materials from whole foods, using the D3, K2, and magnesium triad as the body's own GPS to guide those materials to the precise location of your skeleton. Then, and only then, do you give the definitive order to build, using the brief, powerful signal of osteogenic loading. You are not just hoping for the best, you are directing the outcome. You are giving your body clear, unambiguous instructions. Build. Get stronger. This is the blueprint for reversing bone loss. It is the language your biology was designed to understand. Your body is not a passive victim of time. It is a dynamic, responsive masterpiece, waiting for the right commands. The knowledge to give those commands is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. A strong skeleton isn't just about preventing a fracture. It is the very framework that allows you to live a life of freedom, to lift your grandchildren, to walk on the beach, to stand tall and face the world with confidence and vitality. This is not a story about decline. It is a story about rebuilding. This knowledge is your first step, but the journey from knowing to doing is where the real transformation happens. We are going to break down every single part of this plan: the exact supplement dosages, the specific brands we trust, the simple home exercises that trigger bone growth, and the delicious recipes that neutralize anti-nutrients. To get that complete, actionable blueprint, and to join a community that is choosing strength over fragility, subscribe to How to Be Healthy. Click that button, and let's start building a stronger you today.